Here we go. 3 things you need to know living in Santa Clara County, Silicon Valley. The great deceleration is told by one chart. What does that mean? Epicenter of institutional home buying. And then yield spread forecasts, recessions and recoveries, and what you get for $1 million in Santa Clara County. Let's get moving. I pushed a button and didn't mean to do that. Let's give you my charts real quick. There we go. All right. Let's go into this. The great deceleration is told by one chart. We're seeing a deceleration of home price decline. If you look at right here, you're seeing that prices are going to go up. Remember in 2022, April of 2022, rates went up to 7%, shocked the market. Everybody stopped buying. Everybody's freaking out. I'm going to wait until rates go back down to 3%. Well, it's not going to go back down to 3%. It's not going to go down to 3%. I don't know how else to explain it to you. It might be 4.5 at one time. That's a great time to buy or refinance, but expect it to go down to maybe 5.5, 6%, maybe 5% on a good day. But prices remain stable. Why? Because there's a lack of inventory and a growth spurt. Our population is growing, although it's not growing like you think it is. It's growing. More and more people are trying to move to the US. So in certain parts, which we'll get into, we're seeing declines and increases other places. Okay, let's see. No, not that. This right here. Right here. These different places where institutional buying is happening all the time. However, Tampa is seeing an increase in inventory, which we'll get into in a minute. Phoenix is seeing an increase in inventory. Atlanta, I think, is seeing an increase. We'll see that. But here's the thing. Institutional buyers will always be your competitor, especially in these days. In the next couple of decades, putting money in real estate is what people are doing. That's what this is saying right here. And in 2021, we saw a lot of institutional buyers. We're talking about BlackRock and Vanguard, as well as mom and pops that own less than 1,000 units. They're buying property to stave off inflation, increase their holdings, and as part of their what do they call it in investing? Anyway, they spread load their money so that stocks and bonds, when they take a hit, they don't lose that much money. Using yield spread to forecast recessions and recovery. We've talked about this over and over again. This is from the Federal Reserve. First Tuesday is a company that helps us with continuing education, and they do a lot of great content. But every time we see the yield spread, the 10%, the 10-year and the 2-year, 3-year, go below zero, that's when we can expect a recession. If you look, historically speaking, that's where you see dips. Every time we see a dip, we see a recession coming. That's why we're saying that there's a recession coming. Don't think for a half a second that mortgage rates are going down eventually to bring it back up. But look at the pricing. This is National House Price Index. Pricing goes up when, except for in 2008, when there's a recession. It's not a jump like we've seen in the last few years, but we're going to see home values continue to rise. Makes it even more unaffordable for those of us that can't afford a $5 million house. What do you get for $1 million in Santa Clara County? This one is in Almaden Valley. This one just popped up today. I just took a look at it. I was going to look at it, 3 bedrooms, but then I jumped on really quick on accident. This is actually scheduled for 7:45. But anyway, $990,000, first day on market. It was open house today. It's Wild Creek Drive. I'll show you the map in a second. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, built in 1985. I'm not a fan of 80s built homes simply because of the materials that they use, but this floor plan, I think it's pretty decent looking. Wow, look at those old. I mean, at least I would have painted those guys. But for $1 million, what do you expect? Now, should you expect this to go higher than $1 million? More than likely. I mean, look, it's in pretty decent shape. There's nothing hugely wrong with it. Stop in the bathroom. Hey, Joe, if you're listening, you just heard me mumble. So it's a standard home, right? And these homes built in the 80s, they're tighter, smaller lots, but it's the sense of patio living, right? These are called zero lot line homes. My house is a zero lot line home. It was built in the 60s. And let's see, there's an attached garage, but you see there's your back, that's your neighbor's fence right there. Is that a bad thing? I don't think it is, because honestly, I have 3 walls to paint when I'm painting my house. And my neighbor's wall is built, I have a trellis in front of it, so you don't even know that it's my neighbor's wall. So it doesn't bother me at all. All right, there you go. And here's where it is. Let's take a look on it on a map. It's in South Almaden. So you have to go through the entire Almaden Expressway, but it's on the west side of Almaden Expressway. This is where we live right here in Blossom Valley. This is Blossom Valley, Santa Teresa, Almaden. I have a house coming up right around here. Yeah, Estrade right there. It's coming up right there. I showed you pictures of it a couple of days ago. So that's what you get for $1 million. This episode is brought to you by KnowAVet. If you know a veteran, and we're actually opening this up to seniors. So if you're having problems talking with your senior, how to say it to seniors, this book by David Soleil is amazing. I'm still kind of chumping through it. If you know veterans that are having problems with PTSD, with drug abuse, with homelessness or whatever, this portal can help you help them as well as help them. Does that make sense? You can go there and ask for help and get information on how to have a discussion with the veteran that you might be having problems with, right? Like, I think I have PTSD. Longer story, but I just realized it over the last 6 months. So I have to go to the VA clinic and get diagnosed and see if that's actually an issue. Now, is that going to hurt me long term for any other prospects for jobs? That's something that we're talking about here at KnowAVet, right? And if you get lost or you get confusing, there's a champion that can call you and help you get through this process. And all these different processes, all these different issues are there to help you, help the vet, and help seniors. This is actually, we're breaking this out to be more for seniors as well. All right. Numbers aren't spiking. Inventory numbers are not spiking. As a matter of fact, San Jose is down a little bit. Cupertino's down. Los Gatos is down. Saratoga's up just a little bit. But even across the nation, we're seeing houses increase in numbers, but not dramatically so. I'm pointing out these two right here. Cape Coral. Let me see if I can open this up so you can see it better. There. Cape Coral has 54 homes per square mile. There's 29 homes available per 1,000 people versus San Jose, where it has 0.28 homes per people. Are they going to see a crash? Probably not, because the ebb and flow of and seasonality of Cape Coral is snowbirds tend to fly in, buy homes now, and then in the summer they tend to sell off. That's just kind of the routine. But also Cape Coral has been hit by a few different hurricanes, so something to keep in mind. Probably why the inventory is going up. Same thing with Vegas. I think we're going to see a contraction of values here in Vegas. And one day I'll get my chicken sister to come on video and we can have a discussion about that. All right. That's it for this weekend. This week, I have a couple things planned this weekend. It's homecoming weekend for Santa Teresa. Last weekend was San Jose State homecoming. I have some other things going on, and I'll send you pictures about it. So make sure you come and watch. I'm Vito with Abitano. Have a great weekend. We'll see you out there.